Alô? Alô? Hello? Cadê? Alô? Não, cara, vai jogar Hearthstone, por favor. Esse é o primeiro comentário do cara na minha live. Que porra é essa? What is this? E é Prime? Prime Plebe? What the fuck? Você é bobo? Você é bobo, cara? Tomar no cu? Tomar no cu? O cara chega na live mandando. Não, meu filho, eu vou ver esse anúncio do Diablo e vai se fuder você tranquilo, beleza? Oxi. Oxi. Chego na sua casa pedindo pra você enfiar o pau no seu cu também? Aí eu vou jogar Hearthstone depois. Inclusive, acho que eu posso jogar agora um pouquinho, né? É que até 20 minutos dá pra uma partida, eu suponho. Deck Tracker, Hearthstone. 20 minutos você joga 2BG? Quando lança Diablo? 6 de junho, é isso? 6/6? Eu não sei. Algo assim. Eu preciso atualizar os decks lá, velho. Quanto que eu não vou conseguir. Será que eu começo a atualizar agora e continuo atualizando depois de Diablo? Acho que eu vou fazer isso. Fala, Sandrinho. As notas oficiais quando saem, eu vou esperar até depois do Mundial. Provavelmente vai ter nerf de dia terça. Aí eu dou as notas oficiais terça. Esse outro nerf que veio foi muito rápido. Aí nem deu pra testar as coisas direito. O que eu achei dos decks mundial é engraçado, né? Tipo, obviamente tá desequilibrado. Atualiza os decks na moral. Eu atualizei há 2 dias, mas eu vou atualizar, vou atualizar. Vou passar aquele pano pra Blizzard. Que quando rolou o nerf, todo mundo queria mais nerf, né? Então, tipo, falou pra nerfar Bran, pra nerfar Cemitério. Mas a parte engraçada é que, mano, 3 dias depois mudou tanto o meta que o Cemitério nem tá sendo mais problema, nem Bran. Quer dizer, o Cemitério ainda é um problema, mas não é o mais agravante. E nem Bran, Bran sumiu do meta. Então, tipo, se eles tivessem mudado muita coisa lá, nerfado Druida, talvez estaria pior agora. Porque tem classe que ficou muito mais sem noção. Ô, valeu, Alex. Joga o Diablo no hype? Eu vou, pretendo. Eu gosto de Diablo. Enfim. Dessa vez eu acho que a Blizzard fez certo em esperar pra nerfar. A questão só é que ficou desequilibrado os decks do Mundial, né? O Salgado tá feliz, é. Todo mundo trouxe sacerdote. Todo mundo. Bom, tipo, pode ir atualizando os decks, eu suponho. A gente vai ter que parar no meio, entretanto. Espalha peste 4 de 4. Que porra é esse espalha peste? Ah, sim, pode crer. É engraçado, né? Porque ele tá forte por causa de um meta muito específico, velho. Né? Eu acho, eu suponho. Vou jogar com esse deck depois pra ver qual é a boa dele. Tá, vamos lá. 3 últimos dias. Druida primeiro. Druida agro. Mesmo sempre, tá 56%, entretanto. Deu uma piorada, não errate. Tá. Depois a gente tem Ramp. Nossa, como o ramp piorou, que loucura, né, velho? Denatrius nerfado, mano, piorou muito, mano, o ramp. Não só isso, o meta, né, velho? Doideira, velho, piorou demais. Ficou muito medíocre. A lendária carta que deixa Alexandre ficar triste. Não é? Bom, Druida Ramp Armor, é isso aqui? Como é que é isso aqui, né? Bem que as cartas de Armor pouco a pouco foi saindo, né? Como eu imaginei que ia sair. Algumas, né? Como eu imaginei que sairia. Por que a música parou? Oxi. Por nada a música parou aqui, velho. Quem foi o primeiro visionário a usar ele? Zetalote. O cara é um monstro, né? Aí quando ficou popular, desistiu do deck e fez um sobre aleatório. Comédia. Pera, tô cagando pau aqui. Bom. Esse Druida Quest ainda tá aqui, velho. Que doideira. Então, deixa eu ver aqui. Celestial. Vai ter decks do... Eu vou deixar essa versão de Celestial aqui. Já que vai ter muitos decks, alguns decks celestiais no Mundial. XL... Caralho, Ramp, Druid, Celestial. Eu acho que a dificuldade celestial é um pouco maior. Engraçado que a estatística tá apontando aqui que tá melhorando bastante o deck aqui. Vocês não estão conseguindo ver aqui, deixa eu mudar. Nos últimos dias tem melhorado bastante, inclusive é o que o Páscoa tá levando, olha que maravilha. Eu vou levar isso em consideração. Vou colocar aqui que ele tá um pouco melhor. Bom. É o Open Beta que você vai jogar o Diablo 4? Não, isso aqui não é nada. Isso aqui é só desenvolvedores falando sobre Diablo 4 que eu quero ouvir. É só isso. Eu tive a oportunidade de mandar perguntas pra eles. Quer dizer, eu mandei uma. Eu não consegui pensar em muito. E depois de me arrependi, eu queria elaborar um pouco melhor a pergunta. Mas eu não sei se ela vai ser respondida. Não faço a mínima ideia. Então é isso. É só isso. Tá. Bore. Meu Deus, ok. Vamos apagar esses dois decks aqui. Tchau. Já deu pra eles. Tentaram o seu melhor. Vamos pra Guerreiro. Me surpreenda, Guerreiro. Nossa, fantástico. Vamos ver, cadê? Desde a ascensão do Lich Rei. O que a gente tem aqui de Guerreiro? Teu quest é melhor que eu imaginava. Pra quem quiser. Olha o Guerreiro Controle. Bom, eu vou dar esse quest Warrior pra vocês, né? Guerreiro Frenzy, bom. E rate diminuiu. A gente tem um quest Warrior. Tem duas pessoas jogando com esse deck. Não sei quem são os infelizes, mas beleza. Quest Guerreiro. Bom. Saiu o reporte do Vícios também, né? Coisa boa. Tá. DK, vamos ver o DK como é que tem andado esses últimos dias aí. Não deve estar muito bom, não. Eu devia estar olhando, né, estatísticas aqui do 4x1, né, velho? O Druida Agro tá melhorzinho mesmo, no geral. Nossa, o ramp caiu demais, velho. Impressionante. É que o do 4x1 tem pouco informação, velho. Vamos lá, Blood. O 4x1 tá bem naquelas, né, velho? Diamante. Ainda tá bem naquelas. pegar esse daqui mesmo então, velho. Não sei. Nossa senhora. Tá sofrendo o menino. É a versão de deck que eu tava usando mesmo, né? Essa aqui tem um Teotar. Um pouco diferente. Pegar controle plau. Acho que eu deixo assim mesmo. Uma vez que eu olhei, o Frost tava um pouco melhor. Olha lá o Frost, galera. Olha o Frost indo, galera. Criando asas no meta, velho. Acho que ele tá se dando bem contra... o quê? O Ladino? Meu chute. Ah lá, sabia. Que um meta... que um meta não faz, né? Não é que o deck melhorou, é o mesmo de sempre. Só que ficou um meta mais interessante. Que ele consegue lidar com o Ladino Câncer. Doideira, né? O deck é o mesmo ainda. Não mudou nada, não tô vendo nenhuma grande mudança aqui. É o mesmo de sempre. Que o meta ajuda, simplesmente. Doideira. Comédia. E um Holly, como é que você tá? Tá bem. Tá legal pra caralho. Tá bom demais, velho. Acho que eu vou tirar um Holly, hein, velho. Tá muito ruim isso aí, velho. No diamante ao lento tá como? Nossa senhora, tchau, Holly. Tchau! Ainda! People will love you. Tchau, Holly. Tá. O que mais? Como é que estamos de tempo aqui? Nossa, 17 minutos. Isso aqui tá certo? Deixa eu ver. Passou nada de tempo. 17 minutos, tá certo. Tá, vamos pra... bruxo. Vamos abisoiar bruxo. Deixa eu colocar a música aqui, vai. Filactério. Nossa senhora, tá um lixo. Filactério. Não vou colocar não. Ele tá lá? Ele tá lá, velho. Vou tirar. Tchau. Imp. Imp ainda tá dando gás, velho. Doideira. Doideira. Doideira, doideira. Imp, plau. Isso aqui piorou um pouco. Plau. A gente tem o Curse. Esse é o mesmo deck de sempre. Mesmo deck de sempre. Bom, deixa eu dar uma bisoiada se não tem mais outra novidade. Um Dead Warlock, que é isso? Uau. É aquele deck lá que um dos maiores baiters do Twitter tava falando, né? Qual é o nome dele, velho? Não sei o que lá, Monkey. Nossa, eu não vou achar, velho. Monkey. Earnstone Monkey. Funky Monkey, isso, boa. Funky. Esse aqui é a nata do bait. Ué, velho. Não tenho ele, eu não sigo ele, velho. Eu sigo, não tô achando. Esse deck dele aqui, velho. Falando que ele fez 14 vitórias e uma derrota, velho. Não tem nenhuma informação disso aqui ainda? Não. Não sigo, não? Eu não sigo? Eu não sigo mesmo, caralho. E aí, eu passo essa bait pra vocês, velho? Passo essa bait pra vocês, velho. Pera aí, pera. Tá muito vermelho, calma aí. Volta um pouco. Tecno Funk Monkey. Bom, deve ser um deck fácil de jogar esse aqui, parece, né, velho? Não parece ter nenhuma complexidade isso aqui. Deck barato atualizado? Esse aqui? Esse aqui tá. Deve ser dificuldade 2, eu imagino. Mas deve ser dificuldade 1, mano. Parece bem, tipo, joga criaturas e foda-se. Tá. Xamã. Muito bom, o que tá acontecendo? Tá rolando trailer. Não passou o tempo ainda, né? Ixi, agora fodeu. E agora? Xamã evoluir é bom? Xamã evoluir é bom, velho. Um dos melhores do meta. Swarm Xamã. Consistente. Uma coisa sempre. Ó, eu vou Xamã. Evolve Xamã. Deu uma decaída nos últimos tempos, hein? O que houve aqui? Ele caiu bem, hein, velho? O que será que aconteceu? Tem a versão não usando esses gigantes. Eu gosto dessa versão sem gigantes, eu diria, velho. Só que daí... ele não usa 4 manas que compra, ele usa também. Um pouco deixa mais inconsistente isso. Começou o rolê de Diablo? Começou mesmo? Acho que não começou ainda, não passou o tempo.
Blessed be the light.
Olha esse outro monoco lendário. Essa lista. Não lembro, colocou nem pro Levodin, tá, velho? Esse gigante é muito ruim nesse deck, eu acho. Já viu o vídeo todo? Isso aqui a gente já viu, já. Isso aqui devia ter visto mesmo. Meu vídeo tá muito alto. Tá alto pra caralho mesmo. Eu que tô com o volume baixo do meu set, desculpa. Eu vou ver, mas isso aqui que a gente já viu, enquanto isso, não vou ver, não. Bom, por enquanto eu vou colocar essa versão aqui. Sei lá, aqui no 4x1 até parece melhor. Ó, essa versão aqui, né? Ah, essa versão parece melhor, mas eu vou acreditar nela, foda-se. O que vai acontecer? Vai voltar um timer? Ih, começou mesmo! Ixi! Pulou 10 minutos, velho. Alô, som? Eita, de sacanagem. Oxi. Vocês estão ouvindo aí? Tá ouvindo? Opa! Voltou.
For Diablo 4, and then I have Joseph Pipora, who's the associate game director of Diablo 4. Obviously, this is our, like I said, our first live stream here, live at Blizzard. Right now that we're doing for
live
Diablo
in the cave.
Live in the cave.
Ah, eles estão vermelhos. Eles estão ao vivo.
First time, this is our brand new studio that we'll be doing live streams from going forward. You probably recognize some familiar things in the background as well. We have like Bale back here from the Diablo 2 Resurrected commercial that we actually did with Simu Liu and Winston Duke, which is really cool. We got like the giant Diablo skull in the background. Our skate deck, I'm like trying to point in random directions right now as I look at myself on this monitor.
Yep.
And then of course Lilith. Lilith's right
Lilith.
there. And what's cool, oh, and behind Joe's head we actually have a giant treasure goblin.
Treasure goblin.
It's the mascot.
Oh, it's free.
for
Sneaking up on
for
me.
Team Diablo there, especially in our building here at Blizzard. But as you guys know, we've been doing developer quarterly update blogs since the announce.
Não entendo essa língua.
In 2019.
Até agora vocês estão introduzindo, não tô falando nada.
Diablo 4. And this is kind of our new format going forward.
Bota
We are
legenda
gonna be
na
doing
stream,
more
né,
and
na
more
Twitch.
developer update live streams as we head towards launch.
Tradução simultânea, beleza.
For D4 and even
Vou fazer,
post-launch. But this
confia.
gives us the opportunity of being able to connect with the community. Hear from the
Eles estavam
devs,
falando
hear
que
from
eles
them,
sempre estão
through
fazendo
a fun format like live
updates
streams. So
e
please
falando pra todo
excuse
mundo
our
sobre eles
mistakes
no
and
blog.
slip-ups. I promise you we'll
Só,
have them.
só que agora eles querem
It's the
fazer
best
algo
part
um
about
pouco a
doing
mais, é
live
isso.
streams and so forth.
The live part.
The live part, exactly. But at the same time, what's great about these is that you guys will be able to hear more and more from the developers behind the scenes.
E o que é legal nisso, vocês vão poder ouvir cada vez mais sobre o que tá acontecendo por trás da cortina.
So in future live streams, we'll have more information and more details about Diablo 4 before we head into launch.
Cada vez a gente vai ter mais informação antes do lançamento.
Stuff that we actually did announce over the past week. And Joe, I think it would be like a great opportunity for us to kind of dive in and kind of talk more about like what's occurred over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, the past couple weeks have been, really the culmination of the past year of getting the game, getting all the content into the game, testing the game.
Eu não consigo traduzir isso ao
test
mesmo
after
tempo, não.
test this year, internal tests, the closed beta endgame test, which was, we wanted to test our endgame to make sure that.
Tava falando que tava rolando, além desses anúncios em closed beta, testes internos e o caramba.
As early as possible, right?
Including the previews, the press previews that we did. Some of the press got to play and community got to play a little bit before the Game Awards, and then of course we had the Game Awards moment that.
Ele tá falando do trailer que eles anunciaram no Game Awards.
The monks take over the Game Awards.
Eles estão desculpando também a mim por não ter liberado o closed beta pra mim.
That wonderful opening where everything got dark and you sort of had a little bit of mystery about what was going to happen, and then of course Halsey performing.
Yeah, the Halsey moment was
Foi da hora essa apresentação.
And this image was
Inegável.
so cool. This is actually a picture she ended up taking right before the Game Awards performance, holding the Diablo
Forte
skull.
essa foto, hein?
Incredibly like iconic in terms of how it was.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I had no idea she was a huge Diablo fan.
I mean, I love how it mirrors the statue of Lilith holding the Diablo skull.
Yes.
Yeah, and she is a huge Diablo fan. She said her first Diablo game was actually D2.
Eu tô curioso pra saber por que ela tá segurando a cabeça do Diablo. É porque o nome do jogo chama Diablo? Ela não deveria estar segurando a cabeça de Mephisto, o pai dela?
As we led into the reveal of the trailer, and of course, the big announcements at the Game Awards being the release date for Diablo 4, which is, we can finally say,
That's right,
which is June 6, 2023. And during that, announcement,
Diablo 4 sem Diablo seria propaganda enganosa? Eu quero ver como é que eles vão meter Diablo nessa história aí, viu? A gente vai falar depois desse bagulho todo sobre isso. Diablo está morto? Diablo não tá morto. Diablo não morre. Diablo é uma essência. O máximo que pode fazer com o Diablo é aprisionar ele. Você mata ele e ele renasce. Igual os outros demônios. Eu acho os anjos também.
And if you end up pre-ordering any copy of the game, you do get early access to open beta.
Yes, it doesn't matter what.
Eles estão vendendo o produto lá, que se vocês comprarem, vocês vão ganhar algumas coisas. Que a gente vai ganhar no Hearthstone? Alô?
Comes with benefits in itself of like within Diablo 3, Diablo Immortal, some cosmetics, and of course it comes with the a mount in.
Nem um fundinho de carta?
And
Não é
I think
possível.
one of the coolest things is this World of Warcraft mount. And I have to give a huge shout out to the WoW team here. They
Da hora essa montaria aqui, hein, mano? Caralho!
Myself while playing Dragonflight, it just looks
Forte.
so cool. And it does come with the pre-ordering the game in itself. And if you get pre-order PC, you actually get it now. And if you pre-order on console, you'll end up getting
Vale o
it
trabalho de
on
fazer verse
console.
card.
You can link your Battle.net accounts.
Yeah, and that mount is based on a character in Diablo 4.
Dureza.
Yes. Spoilers.
Mas pra fazer propaganda no Diablo, no Hearthstone, eles são bons, né?
Spoil everything, but yes, it most definitely is And then there is the digital deluxe version of the game. And we also have an ultimate version of the game, but with the digital deluxe version of the game,
Aí eles estão vendendo o produto,
you, do actually
simplesmente.
get early access to the launch of the game, which is really, really awesome.
Se
And
você
it ends
comprar
up
tal
coming
coisa, vai ganhar
with,
mais coisa.
An additional amount in D4. And of course, it also does come with
Classe
the
Diablo no
battle pass
Hearthstone.
in itself,
Próximo
the
patch.
premium battle pass for the game. And I know we have an image here for the ultimate version of the game as well, which comes, with the emote.
That's right, the wings emote, which will allow you to have an Arius wings in the game, show them off in town with the remote button.
Yeah, and we've gotten some questions from the community that we wanted to talk about regarding the at least with the premium battle pass itself, because I think there's questions related to pricing of what the battle pass is going to be. It is going to be $10.
Ok, tá falando sobre perguntas sobre Battle Pass,
in-game currency value
sobre
for the premium
preços,
battle pass. So you get that included
valores.
with the digital deluxe and the ultimate version. The ultimate version does come with like the tier skips and so forth. But then, and there's also questions related to early access for the digital deluxe and the ultimate version, because I think some people were wanting to know, like, oh, does that come with with early access? Does that mean I have like a massive leg up on people? And I know you guys wanted to talk about that a little
Eles
bit.
querem saber também sobre essa versão de você comprar a Deluxe, você ganha 4 dias de jogo antes. Só que daí você vai poder sair na frente de todo mundo. Eles querem saber isso também, eles vão falar sobre.
Eu
imagino que sim.
The game will not be launching in Season 1. Season 1 will arrive weeks after the launch of the game. And when Season 1 starts, everyone will be starting at the same time. Everyone will have an even playing field. And, a lot of our competitive features like leaderboards and those kinds of things are going to show up in seasons. So folks who get early access to the game will get to check it out early, but you don't have to worry about, any unfairness in terms of seasons.
Yeah, and I know with like the premium battle pass and so forth, like there's like some tie-in or some questions tied.
Não vai
to,
sair
like,
tão na
season
frente.
Yeah, this is a good actually. I'm glad we have an opportunity to kind of talk about this a little bit. So there's
No começo vai ser muito na frente, viu? Essa diferença só vai sumir depois de um bom tempo, eu acho. 4 dias na mão de um hardcore é muita coisa. Você vai ser aloprada nas zonas de PVP.
That as players are progressing through the season, able to complete these various objectives tied to each chapter. We've made some updates to the way the feature works. You'll be earning like rewards for your character as you go through the process for this, but you'll also be earning favor by completing chapters of the season journey. And that favor is what drives some of the progression for the battle pass itself. So just by playing through the game normally and completing some of these objectives and earning these rewards for your character, you'll also be progressing your battle pass more quickly, which is great because even if you don't buy the battle pass, and there are still many like items in the battle pass that are still available for free. You'll just get access to as you rank up the battle pass anyway.
Igual
so
todo
even if you don't spend the $10 to purchase the premium battle pass,
vai ser $10. R$50 o Battle Pass.
Like gameplay like boosts that you'll be able to earn during the course of that experience. But even those boosts, like let's say you get the accelerated version of the battle pass, a few extra tier skips that come with the game initially when you start playing in season 1. Which is again when the battle pass.
R$50, $10.
Like these gameplay boosts have a character level requirement attached to them in addition to the tier requirement. So just if you've managed to purchase a few tiers or if you progress that more quickly, you'll still have to have a character of the appropriate level to make use of any of those things. It's really, really important to us that we balance the things that you'd find in the battle pass in a way that they're compelling but still very fair. We don't want to have any situations where players feel that they can pay to win.
Yeah. And of course
Eles falaram que vai ser um Battle Pass igual todos, normalmente. Vai ter, tipo, o Battle Pass que o pobre vai ganhar algumas coisas ainda do Battle Pass, vai ter umas coisas liberadas. Eles falaram que tá bem equilibrado pra upar todos normalmente. Quem compra a versão Deluxe vai ter um Bush, que é dito lá, né? Mas quem compra vai conseguir alcançar de boa também e você ganha pontos de valores, que é jogando o jogo, ou fazendo coisas dentro do jogo. Dá pra sonhar que vai sair mais barato pra nós? Não dá, não. Não dá. O preço, eles fizeram a conversão normal no jogo. Então no Battle Pass eu não acho que vai ser conversão barata, não.
If you want to learn more about the Battle Pass itself, feel free to like check out our blog back in August where we kind of detail out a lot of our plans on that. And of course, we do plan on talking more about seasons here in the future because people are going to want to know what season 1
Eles
is
não falaram
about.
nada. Eles sempre falaram que não vai ter bônus in game.
We're excited to talk about it.
Vamos ver, né? Eles falaram que a maioria que vai ser cosméticos, cosméticos.
Really cool cosmetics in the Battle Pass, but
Não se aprofundaram ainda.
Yep, no power. And then the next big thing that I do want to also mention, of course, with the pre-ordering all the different games, is the collector's box. And I know we've seen a lot of chatter about this because
Muita gente perguntando sobre a caixa de coleção.
We did want to, we have an image right
Eu
here.
queria desse, hein, velho.
Looks amazing. We did want to clarify in the pricing of the collector's box. Right now, it is priced at $96.66, and it will be available
O
on
preço vai
the
ser
store,
$96,66
itself. And then in Australia,
Aqui no Brasil vai ser R$1.500 pra você transferir pra cá. Eu não sei quanto vai ser, não acho que eles ainda aqui no Brasil.
So there is going to be options here for people to
Só $90?
check
Pelo
out
jeito é.
or purchase the actual collector's box. There is one other question that I know that a
Mas
lot
eu não
of
sei
people
se vem um jogo
are
nessa
asked
caixa.
about, like, hey, does this actually come with a copy of the game? It doesn't.
Aí, ó.
This is just a collector's box of all the items that are
Não vem com o jogo. Acabou de falar.
D4. But this also gives you a little bit of flexibility too, because you can actually end up getting a
Por
standard
isso tá
version of
barato.
the game and a collector's box if you prefer, or you can get the ultimate version of the game and the collector's box, so you can kind of mix and match depending on exactly what you specifically want.
Nossa, que decisão bizarra. Mas ele falou a verdade, dá flexibilidade. A caixa tá barata. Eu não esperava que fosse só $90, velho. Puta que pariu.
A collector's box here.
Yeah,
You do.
So we do want to show it off for the first time.
look at this.
Yeah, this thing is
This
massive.
thing is massive.
So we're gonna go through a few of the items here. This
Ô,
right here,
louco, open
obviously,
box
is the
ao
box
vivo.
with, like, the gates of hell opening up, and it actually
Like
does.
trying to adjust it for the cameras to make sure people can really see.
Exactly.
Nossa, é da hora demais essa abertura da caixa aí, se for o que eu tô pensando. Ele vai abrir o inferno ali, a porta do inferno? Oh, da hora, eu curti.
And I think that there's a plan to do more.
Eu queria uma caixa dessa, galera. Não vou mentir,
We're
não.
gonna show off some items here, but then after the stream,
Não vou querer-
we
não,
are most
eu
definitely,
não vou mentir,
you
não.
guys actually check out the Diablo YouTube channel, because the Diablo YouTube channel itself is gonna have a
$90, duas velas. Até uns livros ali,
all the
eu acho.
items and give you like a little bit of a closer look and details and so forth. But we do want to show off what we can here for sure.
Yeah, so the first thing we
Ah,
have
tem
is-
coisas que eles não podem mostrar agora.
Yeah, well, there's two different prints.
Valeu,
that
Gustavo, pelo
actually come,
sub.
or actually, I guess almost three different prints that do come with the collector's box in itself. Of course, some people may be familiar with some of this concept art that we've actually shown.
Fico pensando que eu gostaria de pendurar isso aqui no meu escritório.
Of those, and then we have another one.
Só que se meus avós vêm aqui em casa, eu tinha que esconder. Mas meus avós acho que não vão vir aqui em casa. Estou meio velhinho.
Yeah, this is-
Eu já teria que
it's
esconder,
the happy-
velho.
It's the happy couple, right?
Olha lá, ele preso ali, o
o
Inarius. Papai Inarius.
Between both of them. Narius in chains there.
Yes. Again, so cool. We'll look at these characters this way.
And then we have
There's
the
like things. There's things.
Ganso.
we have
Vou colocar o
the,
ganso depois da apresentação, tá?
The Horadrim pen as well, which is really cool.
Ah, ele não tá podendo mostrar
and
alguma coisa
I
atrás, hein?
be like,
Ou porque atrás é feio.
Tyrael now in the story.
Yeah, this is so cool because we had to build.
Ou atrás disso aí é feio,
The Rodrim are a key part of the story of.
ou tem algum
Diablo.
spoiler atrás disso.
So we needed to design a symbol that appeared in game that was really iconic and part of a symbol of their order, and it turned out to be quite important. And so we decided to make this this physical pin so that you could kind of
Be part of the secret
part of
club.
it.
That's right.
There you go.
So you could join an order of secret demon hunters going across sanctuary, trying to keep things safe.
Que é isso? É um broche dos
This is actually one of my.
dos
absolute
caçadores de
favorite
demônios
things to
secretos, é
show.
isso?
I want to make sure that I actually get
Meu
the right
Deus,
side
é um
up.
mapa do santuário da hora,
did
velho.
not.
Pô, acharia muito mais da hora enquadrar isso aí
did.
do que outra coisa, né?
There we go. Live.
Yeah.
This is the cloth map here of, and what I think the coolest part about this is actually a full representation of like the areas you'll be playing in Diablo 4.
That's right.
Da hora.
When we went to build the world of Sanctuary for Diablo 4,
Cloth
one of the
mat.
things we wanted to do
Da
was
hora.
make sure that the game map had the feel of the kind of map that you would have that people made when, you know, they thought maybe there were a bunch of serpents in the water.
Right.
And so it was so cool to build all of that art for the map, and then getting to actually represent that as a physical object in the cloth map is so cool. And there are even more embellishments on this map, you know, a lot of the art there.
Pô, até o momento a stream tá sendo só sobre a venda, né,
So
velho?
cool, like Lilith's up at the top and like kind of center frame there, and then of course, like we mentioned, like there's points in the game like Skazgland, Dry Steps, etc. that are represented in the map that you'll actually be able to see. And when you open up the map in Diablo 4, it's essentially this, which is awesome. So
Yeah, I'm just a huge D&D
Aparentemente,
nerd, so, like,
tá rolando no
anytime a game
YouTube
has a
também. Isso
cloth
aqui
map
tem
that
uma
comes
qualidade
with it,
melhor.
Like, I'm just so ecstatic to just hang that up someplace and just put it somewhere. So I'm really stoked to see that I actually have this.
Eu vou fazer isso.
Then we have...
Espera um pouquinho.
there's more.
There's certainly more.
There's more!
We have the art book, which is massive.
Ah, isso que eu queria, velho. A arte...
Yeah, I will
Arte do
attempt to
livro.
flip through the
Accepted awkwardly, yeah.
But yeah, it's got it in itself. It's a bunch of different art that obviously the team has been working on within the game and so forth. And
Cortou! Ah, eu cortei, foi
but yeah,
meu.
it's pretty awesome. I'm so sorry.
Isso eu
It's,
queria
like,
muito,
super
velho.
glare.
Somewhat glossy. It's very nice.
Glossy pages, everyone. It looks great. But yeah, this thing is massive. It's super heavy.
Isso pra mim já vale muito já o valor de tudo isso aí, velho.
That's how thick it is, right?
Olha lá,
Like,
velho.
This is a lot of
Isso
art.
pra mim já vale muito,
Really
velho.
cool.
500 conto. Eu falo que não chega por 500 conto aqui, né, velho? 500 conto um livro bonitão e mais uns apetrechos aí, mano. Uma velinha satânica. Vale muito, velho. Pra mim vale.
And that's just another. So
That's not the last piece here. We have this. We have
Olha lá a
the
velinha
Handle of
satânica.
creation here is included. This is kind of like the main centerpiece.
Duas
of
velas, sim.
the collector's box in itself. This thing is really awesome. It's pretty hefty too, and it's great because it's double-sided here, so you can kind of choose sides depending on what you would want. Lilith on one
pera, não
side,
são duas
and Arius
velas?
on the other.
Didn't we
you
just
know?
do like a Twitter poll for like Team Lilith and Team?
Meu Deus, não são duas velas, é uma só que tem os dois lados.
The results
Ih, fomos
blew me
enganados de
away
novo, velho.
Because I think if you asked me like, you know, a month ago, I would have said Team Lilith would have been just
Would have
down.
crushed,
Yeah, but it
is it?
ended at a 50-50 split. So there are most definitely a good mixture of fans between Anarius and Lilith, but
Acho que é
yeah,
isso,
the candle
galera.
itself
É
is
só
really
uma vela,
cool.
viu?
There's a ton of detail on the actual base as I'm covering on the hand. Hand model, everyone. And then, of course, it's even got some extra details here on the
É uma
bottom.
vela só, é uma vela.
Skulls. You can really see some of the detail of
Cada vez pior, velho.
It's almost hard. It's hard to show off the level of detail, but thankfully we have a video later that we'll talk about some of these things.
Exactly.
And we have some
Yeah.
images going up as well.
Yeah, and it's actually got a, because this is an electric
Acabei de
candle in
conferir, é
itself,
uma
this
vela
is
mesmo.
not like something that will just disappear after using it for so many uses.
É
and
uma
so
vela,
forth. But it
mapa,
is battery operated. There's a
mouse
switch on the side
pad,
and so forth. But you can then
o
have
pin,
it either on your desk while you're working,
dois
or,
quadros
you know, and
e o
you can flip it
artbook.
from side to side depending on
That's right.
who you want to be in favor with.
Mondays with Lilith and Tuesdays with Anarius.
Exactly. So yeah, this is the collector's box itself. As I said, we will have an unboxing on our YouTube channels immediately after the live stream. So
Ah,
make
vai
sure to
ter
check that
vídeo
out.
de unbox
And,
bonitinho.
Pre-orders should be going live after this live stream on the Gear Store. So, and that is in
Até o
again,
momento foi
North America,
16
Latin
minutos de
America,
venda.
Europe and the UK. And then in Australia and Korea, it will be available at...
Vende pra mim, Blizzard! Eu não tenho dinheiro, Blizzard, brincadeira. Dá pra mim!
For those specific regions and where those details are going to be. So, this is the collector's box. So it's actually
Acabei
really
de
cool.
ver a edição especial do
super
Baldur's Gate
excited.
3. Só faz
I'm
diabo parecer triste.
not going to be able to
Beleza.
like immediately run over and pre-order it itself because
We gotta do this.
I got to do this. But we actually have a lot of other things to talk about. As you guys know from the Game Awards and what you probably saw in the beginning of the live stream. Speaking of which, I do want to apologize for our counter. It clearly looks like Belial has gotten to our counter at the beginning of the live stream. It was moving a little slow. Lord of Lies most definitely has taken
por
advantage
isso
of it.
mano.
We did start perfectly on time, but the...
Eu sabia, mano. Teve um momento que, mano, passou o tempo, passou só 3 minutos, mas aparentemente o tempo tava lento lá pros caras. E por isso do nada cortou 10 minutos.
A good refresher, just in case if you're jumping into
Sabia, não tava
the
louco.
live stream now or you haven't
E a
taken a look at
precisão
it, I've
de
seen it a
tempo é
million times,
atômica.
but let's take another look at the Inarius and Lilith trailer.
Inarius. O que é isso? Esse é outro trailer ou o quê? A gente vai ver de novo o trailer. E... de novo! Sabe uma coisa que eu deixei de mencionar na lore? Que eu comentei? Eu poderia ter comentado que é interessante? Que... Nossa, a música é forte, hein? Que na Guerra dos Pecados, eu falei que ele veio que nem Jesus e participou da guerra como um Jesus da vida. E lá ele criou a religião da luz, a Igreja da Luz, alguma coisa assim. Esses caras devem ser, tipo, seguidores antigos da religião da luz, pessoas fanáticas dessa religião antiga. Tanto que eles adoram a luz aí, né? Vai ser pay to win esse também? Teoricamente não. Teoricamente. Estão prometendo muito que não vai ser. Esse trailer é alto, hein? Perdoa porque é lindo.
May we fight true in his holy name.
Não vai? Não, dessa vez não vai mesmo, teoricamente. Eu não quero dar meu sangue aqui, né? Mas já estão jogando e Closed Beta não tem nada de pay to win, teoricamente. Não sei, o Battle Pass ainda não saiu, tá ligado? Beta nunca tem, já morto tinha pra caralho. Não tinha? Pode que tinha. No Diablo Immortal já tinha as gemas lendárias lá à venda. No beta. Senhora, esses trailers são muito bons. Ainda não vi seu vídeo Diablo? Caralho, essa gata tá perdendo, hein, velho? Tá perdendo, hein, na moral.
A million times and probably like half the views on YouTube in it itself.
Are you?
I am. I am boosting the YouTube viewership all by myself. It honestly is probably one of my most favorite cinematics that our SFT team has worked on here at Blizzard. It's incredible. I think it'd be good to like kind of help inform the community because I know. A lot of people, if you follow Diablo, you know who like Lilith and Inarius are, but then there's a lot of questions related to like who is Lilith, who is Inarius, how important are they within the Diablo universe? And
é só ver o vídeo Tadeu que isso tudo vai ser respondido.
Give a little primer on that.
Yeah, so
Ele vai explicar a lore.
Diablo 4 focuses on the world of Sanctuary, and it's the world itself was created by Inarius and Lilith.
Aí ele tá explicando o vídeo do Tesdey agora.
The universe of Diablo, there's this eternal conflict between heaven and hell, with the angels on one side and the demons on the other side. And Inarius and Lilith got tired of this and wanted to have a third way, and they created the world of Sanctuary where the humans live, and Diablo 4 takes place.
And sort of abandon their responsibility, sort of, right? Like they're expected to continue this war.
Well, that's certainly the take of the demons and the angels both. Yeah, absolutely. And so these two characters, these two antagonists, are a central part of the story as you adventure through the world of Sanctuary. These two founders who do not see eye to eye at this point, certainly. are key.
Aí ele
part
cortou
of the
toda a
story.
história do Tesdey pra vocês lá
So
assistir o
being able to
vídeo.
explore like Lilith as a character, explore Inarius' characters and like their motivations, kind of what led them to where they are now and why things are blowing up the way they are. Yeah, definitely very important to the overall story.
Então eles estão
Very
falando
cool
que a gente vai
story.
ver as
Yeah, and I
motivações
think,
deles
like,
dois
the
hoje em dia.
cinematic showcases like amazing moments, especially for Inarius. I mean, he's very much center stage for kind of the first time that people really get to see or experience him in a Diablo game.
Ele tá falando que vai ser a primeira vez que um jogo de Diablo a gente vai poder o Inarius fazendo parte de alguma coisa e ele é um cara muito importante. Igual o Lilith.
What he represents right there was amazing.
Yeah, Inarius is a force, to be
Yeah.
sure. And it's so cool to be able to tell the story in a way that we can have really multifaceted characters that have real motivations, like you were saying, but also be able to represent the raw power of some of these characters like Inarius. Like when you think about that shot of Inarius' wings, getting to see them over the army there, and
Like spreading out super wide. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And angel wings have been such a beautiful part of Diablo games for a long time. I think back to the scene with Tyrael
Cena é
in the
muito
World
bonita
Stone
mesmo.
and how his wings were represented there. The way that they can move, they have kind of this quality that I don't think I've seen any other wings, angel wings, that are represented quite this way. They're just incredible.
Yeah, they feel very iconic to our angels in Diablo, right?
Ele tá falando como é lindo a asa e é bonito de ver isso dentro da produção do jogo. E estão falando como cada asa de um anjo é meio que diferente um pouco da outra.
With his wings.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite parts where he's just like coming down and the fallen are in awe and obviously he's
Ele comenta como ele pode usar essa asa como fosse membros assim, né? Ele empala o chão pra aterrissar.
Feet landing on the ground.
Animal
and,
mesmo.
like, the amount of impact he
É tipo o
has
Dr.
while doing a
Octopus, né,
soft landing is
Só que
just
mais fraco.
insane. You can
E
tell
mais
he's got something on his mind. He clearly has an objective, wants to most definitely go towards it. It's just insane to see the power that's behind him. And I think one of my other favorite moments is the kind of the pulse he sends out that like completely brightens up how all the fallen are essentially like blinded by it, but it's got this.
Eu quero eles falando do jogo. O que vai ter de novidade aí, velho? Isso aí a gente já viu, galera. Não quero ver os caras apunhetando não sobre o vídeo que eles fizeram, porra. Ô, Blizzard. Vamos lá, velho. Todo mundo gostou, velho. Beleza, a gente tá beleza.
Which just causes all the fallen to immediately move off. And be scared of like his power and what he brings.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much in regards to the story between Inarius and Lilith, and
Eles estão falando, tem muita história pra contar deles. Verdade, vocês podem conferir isso no meu vídeo.
Was originally serving under Tyrael. Which is obviously a very familiar name within.
Ele tá falando aí que o Inarius servia o Tyrael antigamente. Foi isso que eu falo no meu vídeo. Achei que eles iam falar algo mais útil. Teoricamente eles são. Eu acho. Teoricamente.
The next big thing that we did want to talk about, and this is a huge part because this is actually kind of a new thing that a lot of the community may have heard of, but probably don't have full details on, and that is the Codex of Power.
Oh yeah, Codex of Power.
Yes, the Codex of Power is a brand new feature that's coming into Diablo 4.
Codex
the
do
gameplay
Poder,
feature, and
novo
Mr.
feature dentro do jogo.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Can give us a little bit more
I'll
details.
talk about this. So this is one of those things I would have loved to be able to talk about in
Meu
a
Deus,
blog
que é isso? Tô com medo que seja pay to win, não sei.
At that time, there was already so many things for us to discuss. So the Codex of Power is this new crafting feature that we'll bring on.
Ah, forma de craftar.
Really, really excited about it. What it allows players to do is, as they're progressing through this, the massive interconnected world of Sanctuary, they're going to be discovering lots and lots of dungeons as they go. And when they find these dungeons and they delve deep into them, at the bottom of them, they're going to find what we call Codex of Power aspects.
Nessas dungeons você vai enfrentar lá no fundo um aspecto do Codex of Power.
In this very particular form. And every one of these dungeons that players progress through in the overworld has a unique legendary power via the aspect found inside of them.
Yeah. What I love about that is
E cada codex vai ter poder
you can
peculiar
create a new
específico.
character, And you can look at some of the powers that
Limitada a
are
6
available through
skills.
these dungeons
Ah, isso era de esperar.
and say, okay,
Tradicional.
I really want to target this power. I'm going to go to this dungeon, get that power. You know, so you're less dependent on like, well, I hope this power drops.
Absolutely. So there are limitations in place, but Joe, to your point, that is basically the intent here, right? Is to give players some manner
Nossa,
and
da hora
measure of
demais.
control over the nature of their build as they're getting.
Está lindo demais esses
those
ataques.
steps. But the Codex of Power is a way for them to basically take these aspects, and then they're able to go back to a crafter back in one of the major cities, our new occultist crafter actually. And when they go to the occultist, they can hand off the. Actually, we're showing it right now. Our sorcerer's friend has just learned aspect of overwhelming bolts, which is going to allow the charge bolts ability to go and fire 2 more projectiles
Nossa.
fast. She's going for like an up close and personal melee lightning build. So this shotgun approach for her spender is going to be really useful. More bolts, more damage, definitely very good.
Meu Deus.
Trade-off for the mana cost, but still ends up being worth it in the end. Here we can see that the sorceress is now.
Mas o que você pode encantar? É todos os seus equipamentos? Você vai poder encantar com essas porra?
Into one of their existing items. So she takes the.
Pelo jeito sim.
So you're looking at a lot of work in progress stuff.
Meu Deus.
Caralho,
que complexo.
Show some things off. You have an opportunity to go and basically
Meu
override
Deus.
existing legendary power on this and put in the new power they've just collected to the Codex of Power. So in this way, players get this deterministic way to kind of collect a series of these legendary powers that are out there in the game for them to find. But it's not all of them. You can only find some of the legendary powers overall in the game. There are over 120 dungeons in the game. So this represents like a lot of really exciting and interesting things for you to collect as you go.
Então a gente não vai ter itens lendários com poderes específicos mais? Ou vamos e isso vai ser um acréscimo?
You'll find legendary powers for all of the classes.
O pay to win.
Ones that can work on multiple classes as well.
Teoricamente isso não tem nada de pay to win.
Find an aspect that you can put into your Codex of Power. This is now available to all characters in that realm. So, for sake of argument, if we're playing in Season 1, you know, every character that you make, let's say you're playing your sorceress first, and you go find a whole bunch of werewolf, druid, you know, based aspects as you're playing. When you go and you want to build a new werewolf character or a new druid character, you have all of those aspects to play with from level 1 as soon as you want to start kind of like leveling up gear and getting into a position where you can make use of them. So we love this idea of like making it so it's easier to go play with other builds.
Bom, então aparentemente,
We've really been thinking about crafting in Diablo 4, and I love
tipo, você vai ter que buscar dungeons específicos para matar bosses específicas para poder fazer um encantamento específico em seus itens. Isso é legal. Ah, não sei se dá pra encantar todos os seus equipamentos, imagino que sim. Não estamos mostrando quanto paga pra entrar na dungeon. Se fodeu, Rosângela.
But one big change in Diablo 4 is allowing legendary powers of a particular type to roll on lots
Não é
of different
possível.
item slots.
Para, galera, vocês estão me deixando transtornado. Cala a boca.
Now the Codex lets them put them on the slots that are appropriate for that power. They can choose, right? But another limitation for the Codex power, in addition to not actually having the ability to collect all of legendary powers in the game, there's many more for you to find as you're playing through Diablo 4. Those powers also are always rolled at the lowest level of power possible. So it is always better for you to go find a legendary item that has the power that you're interested in, and then you can choose to use that item directly or extract the power from that item into an aspect crystal, then go and imprint into your own item of your choosing. So those legendary items you find out in the world are always going to end up being more powerful as a general rule.
Yeah, I really like the idea that, like, no matter what, like, finding stuff is still gonna lead to, like...
Eu não entendi, eles falaram sobre extrair poder de item lendário também, como já fazemos no 3, já em Immortal. Mas pelo que eu entendi, realmente vai entrar em atrito com os poderes dos aspectos mesmo.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's great about it. Exactly to that point is that you can have, let's say that you are leveling up and you get a legendary power that you really love, and you start to sort of make your build around it. With the Codex of Power, you can acquire new gear, and in fact through essences as well, and you can extract. You can bring that power with you, so you can maintain that build. Do not sort of.
Eles estão falando que tem no 3, né? E no Diablo Immortal, de você poder extrair os poderes e manter eles.
As the beginning go through their class fantasy, they're making their skill tree selections. They're going deeper and deeper into this. They're making their fun choices. we do
Da
want
hora
to
tá
be able
esse
to still
mago
wanna
elétrico, hein,
chase
velho?
certain other powers. Like, for example, for this, like, you know, kind of like melee focused lightning build, the player here is participating in right now. Like, there are other powers that they really want for this build. Like, there's a lightning bolt legendary that is going to allow lightning orb legendary. It's going to allow them to have the sphere basically orbit around them as part of combat, which, as you can see, would be awesome when they're teleporting into packs.
Ele tá explicando como, tipo, tem outros poderes. A gente tá vendo uma build de melee elétrica da hora. E como tem outros poderes futuros que ele pode pegar que ajudaria na build dele.
Yeah, so I know with the Codex of Power, this is kind of a new feature that's coming in Diablo 4, and we'll have more information and more details regarding like different parts of the Codex of Power and the different powers you can end up finding and so forth.
Eu só não entendi se a gente vai poder usar
in general here in the future.
artefatos, habilidades e artefatos junto com isso, mas pelo que eu entendi é a mesma coisa. Então você não vai poder acumular.
I did want to leave some time for some Q&A because I know we've had a lot of different questions that we've seen pop over the community here in the especially in the last week with all the announcements that we've actually had related to Diablo 4. And so I wanted to make sure that we spent some time on those. So we did collect a lot of these questions through different community channels, like some of our forums on like D3, D2R, where people are posting about Diablo 4 there.
Tá falando que vai ler agora umas perguntas da comunidade de várias regiões diferentes.
These questions actually came from like social media or even our content creators that actually do.
Sim, é isso sim, Coane.
So let's kind of like jump into a few of these specific questions if we can. So first one we have is like, what learnings did you guys apply from other Diablo games to Diablo 4?
Você aprendeu dos outros jogos para aplicar no Diablo 4?
When you think about the history of the Diablo IP, of all the games that have come, what we wanted to do is capture the things that players loved about each of those entries in the series.
É papinho, né?
And when you think
Tô
about,
falando, o que a gente aprendeu foi o que deixa, que faz as pessoas se divertirem nos outros jogos de Diablo, a gente quer manter isso. Óbvio, né?
Tone that was quite different from other things that you would see at the time. And we wanted to carry that forward and recapture that in Diablo 4.
Entendi, Rocinho.
And then when we look again, what do players love and hold close to their hearts in Diablo 2? And we really wanted to capture that essence of having systems that, unfold out and have all of this depth and ability to, look at it and nuance and think to yourself, okay, well, I'm really going to learn all of the details of this, and I'm gonna by having a deep understanding of this, I'm going to optimize my character in ways that people who don't understand these nuances will miss, and I will feel like, oh, I really am optimizing through this system in that. Really
the characters really like the expression of the choices you've made while you're leveling up.
Codex vai ser uma gambiarra, mais ou menos.
That's a great point.
Entendi.
Really important. A lot more of that power is based on decisions that players made along the way.
Power on the character itself versus
just stuff that you
Entendi. Muito obrigado pela explicação, assim.
And of course, when we think about Diablo 3, we think about the fluidity of combat, that sort of action aspect of the action RPG.
A gente tá falando das coisas boas do Diablo 3, tipo, a ação muito fluida.
Diablo 3 added so much to not just the player cast interactions, when you talk about hit frames and contact frames and all of the sort of nitty-gritty of how that smoothness is achieved. But also,
ele tá falando das nuances, assim, para você fazer uma batalha mais interessante e fluida, né? Sobre hitbox e essas coisas.
And we wanted to make sure that we represented that in Diablo 4 and even at a grander scale. I mean, if you can't behead a fallen, then what are we even doing here?
Exactly.
What are we even doing?
Exactly. Cool. For the next question we have, as I'm like dodging the camera and so forth, how does the Battle Pass work and how long does it go for?
Como funciona o Battle Pass?
About Battle Pass, but I think this is actually a really good question as
E quanto ele dura?
It's a great question. So the Battle Pass will last for the entire duration of a season, and a season is 3 months.
Yep.
Vai demorar a temporada toda, que é 3 meses.
Your way through the Battle Pass. Active players are going to have no problem with that. You're not going to run out of time.
Você não vai perder. Você vai conseguir completar sem dificuldades se você é um player ativo. E se qualquer merda você faz, você vai ganhar ponto no passo de batalha, aparentemente.
Yeah, and I know that because we talked about season journey beforehand and so forth, and again, that's just
da hora,
an
assim.
opportunity for people who even don't have the battle pass will still have an opportunity of actually going through a season journey similar to what they kind of experienced with Diablo 3 and earning things and so forth from that specific
Fala, Zala, pelo sub.
moment as well.
Oh, I want to call one more thing. I think there's another question here that sometimes is kind of asked, which is like, how long am I expected to play in order to progress through the battle pass?
Tadeu já vai preparando o pano para passar. O jogo parece estar muito divertido.
For the most part. And this is important because we don't want you to think you hear that there's a battle pass that's going to last for 3 months. Am I expected to play every single day for 4 hours for 3 months? That's not how this works. We really want people to engage with it at a pace that is appropriate to you. And feel that you've got the time necessary to really go through the whole thing.
Ele tá fortalecendo que você não precisa jogar que nem um retardado pra completar o Battle Pass.
That's right. So
Quando começa a primeira temporada.
The exact dates of when the season starts.
Valeu, Wallace,
with more details about the first season.
Caralho, eu esqueci de
what
ligar o
kind of
bagulho.
exciting things you're going to get to see coming soon. But the key thing to know is that the game will launch in a pre-season mode.
Yes.
And the season will start some weeks after that.
Yeah, and so
tá. Então vai começar sem temporada e a temporada vai começar depois de algumas semanas.
The early access period. Your early access will be within the preseason, so it's not an opportunity to get a leg up over other people in regards to that first season for Diablo 4.
Yeah, I really want to make sure people have time to really play through and enjoy the campaign and see all this content before they get ready to start fresh in season 1.
Exactly.
Next question: if I want to play Diablo 4 on PC and console, do I need to purchase the game for each platform?
Ui!
Yes, so you do need to purchase the game for each platform that you want to play on. All of your progression, you can play between.
Se você quer jogar em outras plataformas, você tem que pagar.
That's cross-platform as well.
Mas vai manter seu personagem lá.
If you do buy the premium battle pass for PC and you also play on Xbox, for instance, your battle pass does carry over because it is part of your BattleNet account. So you'll end up progressing both on whichever platform.
Pagar pelo cross? Não. Você não vai ter que pagar pelo cross. Você vai ter o personagem lá. Mas pra você poder jogar o jogo, você tem que pagar.
Cool. Will familiar Diablo items be returning to Diablo 4? Sorry, I'm ducking around.
They will.
Itens.
Joe, I think you have some.
Yeah, so there are
Vai ter itens antigos retornando to Diablo 4.
Yeah, Shaco's coming back, Windforce is coming back, Grandfather's coming back.
Tá falando dos itens aleatórios aí.
Mage Fist is coming back.
Mage Fist.
And these are unique items.
So
right?
yeah, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so that's a really good call-out. So there are legendary items we talked a little bit before. That have really particular powers, and then there are unique items that are much more powerful than legendary items are. Now,
então vai ter os lendários e únicos igual ao Diablo 2, né? São muito mais poderosos.
And then what the special power is tied to the unique item on its own. And they're really they're difficult to find. They're really rare. They're fun chase items, and you can really build exciting builds around some of these things. But we've taken a lot of the ideas from these items from previous games, kind of reinterpreted them to make sure they work with Diablo 4, but try to retain that thematic essence to them. It's been an exciting challenge for the team to kind of go after and try to bring in.
Tá.
Yeah, we have a ton.
Diablo items returning. Fan favorites.
And a lot of new things too. So there's a mixture of both, but you will see.
Ele tá falando, vai ter itens novos, vai ter novos itens baseados em antigos.
That is the end of our questions that we have there.
É isso!
That we ended up grabbing. I know that we wanted to make sure.
E minha pergunta?
So forth. And but I did want to thank you guys for joining.
Nem responderam minha pergunta.
For joining us on our last live stream. But I'm gonna throw you guys before we leave some quick. Fast-paced shotgun questions because I want to make sure that we have all these and everything like that.
Okay.
I'd be curious to know favorite class in Diablo 4 for each of you.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
Classes favoritas.
Okay, so that was easy. I guess Barbarian, but I think in terms of specs. So I could just talk for the 5 minutes, but no, Barbarian right now.
Yeah, you're right. There are so many cool mechanics. Like when I say rogue, I'm thinking about the idea of being a rogue and running around.
I will say rogue is incredibly fun. Plays it's if you want a fast like agile character that like is dancing.
Eles estão falando
around,
como
like,
cada personagem agora tem aspectos muito diferentes para se explorar. Os bárbaros têm, o bárbaros tem vários tipos de armas que você pode explorar, mecânicas específicas. Ladino, extremamente versátil também, com coisas diferentes.
There's builds I love on all of the classes.
I personally am a druid fanboy. Always have been.
Bear, werewolf.
Actually, I've really enjoyed like the elemental specs and so forth. Yeah.
Storm is
Druida elemental.
So fun.
We're gonna nerf Storm, everybody.
Just because I said something.
Just because we said it was good. So
Já falou que vai nerfar druida elemental já.
I'd be curious to know favorite enemy in Diablo 4. Maybe.
Favorite enemy.
Yeah.
Inimigo favorito em Diablo 4.
Family. Wow. You know, I love what we were able to do with the Bloodcasters. There was actually an enemy in Diablo 2 under the city that is this vampire caster, very tall and thin and floating, and we were able to reimagine that in Diablo 4, and it moves by turning into bats. And it can form out of bats. So if you get a lot of bats in one area, it can turn into one of these casters.
Wait, did it move in Diablo 2 as bats?
No,
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, like I always it's so hard to tell with like.
Pô, é difícil eles falarem. Eles estão falando de inimigos favoritos e, tipo, eu não vou saber nenhum porque eu preciso de imagens. Eu não vou saber escrevendo em inglês esses inimigos quais são.
Like just the whole monster family for the drowned. I really
Drowned,
like.
que porra é o drowned? Não sei.
Like these pale, clammy, like seaside monsters rising up from the waters. And one of the things really fun is, like, they're really, like, strange and mysterious in the world, and I really gravitate towards that. Like, you know, they're covered with barnacles. They've got like all kind of like broken parts of like sunken sea vessels they use in combat. They just swarm all over the place. Often you'll find like you're in slick areas where it's raining when you have to actually encounter them. Like they're a super fun group of monsters to fight. They've got some neat. A lot of their brute has some like really neat abilities you have to like trying to like dodge and avoid. They're very dangerous. So yeah, they're my favorite I think right now.
Nice. What's a fun fact you guys encountered while developing Diablo 4?
Fun fact developing Diablo 4. I'm gonna throw it at Joe.
What do you
Sure.
think?
So a fun fact I learned while developing Diablo 4, that it is very, very important while we're allowing players to like make a lot of choices and they're thinking about the way they like make a really interesting character for themselves, that we unveil that kind of slowly initially. Otherwise, we have a tendency to like get people like really like scared about making choices, and they kind of clam up, which is obviously not what we want. We want people to like be able to engage with these kinds of features. So it's maybe not like a fun fact, but I think it was very, very interesting. We went through a lot of iterations to get to the right.
Ele não falou bagulho divertido, mas interessante, né?
Now I have to give a serious answer.
No, I'm sorry.
Que é tipo a questão de tipo eles tem tanta coisa que fazer esses personagens que eles tiveram que, mano, deixar mais humilde no começo, você não se assustar.
We went through a lot of iteration on the first skill when you start out in the very beginning of Diablo 4. For a while, you started with one of your classes, left click, basic skills, and we had a lot of trouble with having that skill that we'd chosen for you, feeling like, well, I guess I should build a spec around this, because it's just you start with it, you're familiar with it, and it sort of constrained your ability to explore the skill tree.
Yeah, so if Sork started with like Firebolt, for example, like a lot of people that were testing would just make fire like spec sorcerers. They wouldn't think about other skills. So
we ended up going with a basic. We ended up adding, fairly late in development, a basic attack that you start with, so that when you get your first level up, you actually get to choose. Okay, well, which spec do I want to start with, and of course you can respec within the skill tree pretty freely.
Então ele tá falando que, tipo, no começo, como outros Diablo, assim, tipo, o primeiro ataque de cada personagem era já de uma árvore de habilidades, assim, tipo, a bola de fogo da maga, assim. E por causa disso, muita gente, eles acharam que muita gente ia acabar escolhendo um caminho parecido com aquilo que eles começaram, e eles não queriam isso, então eles mudaram isso pra um ataque extra, que eles começam diferente, que é um ataque mais básico ainda, que não faz porra nenhuma. Pra você não ser... não receber a propaganda de escolher um aspecto porque você começou com aquilo.
I won't break the tiebreaker here. We will keep.
Não vai mostrar o jogo? Mostrou já.
Trying to stay very neutral here.
I will stay neutral here. I will choose Team Bale. There we go.
Team Bale.
It's behind me. It's perfect. Uncle Bale.
Uncle
great.
Bale.
Uncle Bale. It's perfect. Great. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our time here today on the developer update stream. I do want to note that, you know, we thank everyone again for tuning in for our first developer update stream. This has actually been kind of a crazy process of getting a studio up back in the building, and I'm happy that we can call this home for our streams going forward. We do have a lot of Diablo activities that are going on that we've announced or will announce here, I'll say in a second, for the whole entire franchise. If you are a big fan of Diablo Immortal or a player of Diablo Immortal, we just had a huge update for 1.7 come out yesterday. It's massive. It's probably our biggest update yet. So I do recommend checking it out. Lots of
Eles estão falando que no site vai ter
whole new areas that kind of
mais detalhes sobre o update semestral da vez aí.
A lot of quality of life
Ou trimestral, sei lá como é que é normalmente.
So been hearing a lot of great positive feedback, and we're excited that that's out right before the holidays. And then D2R, earlier this week, we announced 22 Nights of Terror. It's an in-game event that essentially changes the game every single day, and it's kind of a surprise. Think of it like a Diablo advent calendar, you could say. So that actually started earlier this week. And for Diablo 3 fans, we actually have a new holiday event. This is a brand new event for Diablo 3 that I'm really excited to.
Yeah, you've been working hard on this.
Our D3 team has been working really hard, and they're working really hard on the next season. And we'll actually be revealing that tomorrow on the blog. So make sure to tune in for that. And we'll also have news related to, of course, the Darkening of Tristan, which happens every single year for Diablo 3 and when that will be occurring. So make sure to check out Diablo3.com from that side. Any parting words from you guys?
Yeah. You know, I really wanted to thank everyone for tuning in today and following us.
Tá agradecendo. Não, eu fiquei chateado, honestamente. Fiquei chateado, fiquei sentido. Porque, tipo, porra, vou ver aqui, cadê? Começou... Aqui. Tivemos quase 1 hora. E tipo... Porra. 30 minutos do bagulho foi venda e falando sobre o trailer, velho. Pô, eu não sei porque... Não é questão de aparecer minha pergunta, mas, pô, eles responderam 3 perguntas. É que é foda. Todo esse rolê de entrevistar os desenvolvedores... Rola umas perguntas e respostas. Se tem uns cretinos como eu pra perguntar as coisas mais específicas, eles acabam não respondendo de que forma. Então eu não gosto muito dessas perguntas. Se bem que tem perguntas interessantes, vai. Isso aí é interessante, eu suponho. Qual foi a outra pergunta? Essa pergunta foi interessante, eles deram uma resposta dura. Acho que é interessante, vai. Ok, as perguntas foram boas, vai. Mas só foram 3 perguntas, né? A minha pergunta foi sobre a lore. Tipo, eu perguntei... Eu falei, no trailer do Diablo a gente vê as asas de Inarius, a gente vê Inarius atacando a Lilith, coisa que ele prometeu nunca fazer. Durante o Diablo 4 a gente vai entender essas ações melhor, ou a gente pode esperar que vai haver algumas mudanças na lore? Foi essa a minha pergunta. E aí, é isso. Então é isso. Só pergunta se pode ser na roleta do subscribe. Vai errar se é pay to win ou de boa Diablo 4? Olha, assim, só vai ter a certeza absoluta, concreta e certeira quando sai tudo. Mas até o momento não tem nada de pay to win no jogo. Nada. Absolutamente nada. Eu preciso gravar um bagulho pro Rick aqui, peraí.